I'm Nandini, and today I feel blessed to have with me Mr. Ezekiel Isaac Malekar, sir, who is the priest of Hyam Synagogue, which is a Jewish temple. Welcome, sir. Shalom, sir.
Shalom, shalom.
Uh, so today I'm going to discuss with Sir his views on the Uniform Civil Code and how it relates to the Jewish faith. So we know that in Israel and in traditional Jewish law, the personal law is still managed by the chief rabbis. So the rabbis serve as a judge in terms of marriage, divorce, and other personal law matters. So if we bring in the Uniform Civil Code, because currently the Jewish law, personal law, is still governed by the Mosaic sources, the Torah and the Talmud. So how do you think is that going to work out in relation to the Jewish faith and the Jewish community is going to view itself?
First of all, I would like to tell you that Jews have been living in India peacefully without facing anti Semitism and persecution for the last 2000 years. So, because people are not aware that Jews have been living in India for the last 2000 years and they never had any persecution and anti Semitism. And therefore, I always say that I am an Indian first and Jews second. And even when the president of Israel visited Synagogue, Mr. Shimon Peres, I was asked by the media to express my feelings Israel and India, and I said, Israel is in my heart, but India is in my blood. Janani Janma Bhumishya Swargadapi Gariyase. Mother who gives you birth and the country where you are born are greater than the heaven. So this is our identity as far as India is concerned. Coming to the Uniform Civil Code, as you know, uh, there is the personal laws which have been codified for Muslims, Hindus, Christians, and other communities. So when such matter comes before the court of law, they are governed by the personal laws. Okay, when there is a case for the Muslim, they have the Muslim law. Then we have the Christian, they have the Christian. For Islam, then Hindus, there is the Hindu law. But unfortunately, though Jews have been living in India for the last 2000 years, I'll come to that Uniform Civil Code, second part. But first of all, of course, now there are only 7 to 8,000 Jews all over India. But early 1950s, there were about more than 50,000 Jews in India. Unfortunately, Jews of India have not been recognized as a minority community. Now, of course, for after many years, I think now about 5 years ago, the state government of Maharashtra has given that recognition as a minority community only relating to the Maharashtra state. But as for the state central government, this community has not been recognized as a minority community. So there is no member in the minority commission at the central level. As far as the Uniform Civil Code, the if the marriage between the both spouse, both the members or parties of the spouse are Jews, they are governed by the Special Marriage Act. When they go to the court of law in order to get the marriage registered, their marriage will be registered as per the Special Marriage Act because there is no civil code for Jews in India. So anything, marriage or subsequent event like a divorce, then transfer of property, even the adopting the child, that all are governed by the Special Marriage Act. So sometimes, they are covered under the Hindu law. But as far as the Jews law is concerned, as you have rightly said, that Chief Rabbinical Court of Israel and we are governed by the the specific our laws. But in India, this is not happening. So it is a must to have the uniform civil code in India. And I would like to tell you, I think in 1982-83 there was a move, very strong move. Now we are having now. I'm talking about 1982-83, and I was asked to represent Judaism, and that meeting took place in the uh, Vigyan Bhavan, and I strongly supported that. Like we must have, like we have in Goa. Goa has already adopted this law, and in Goa, this everyone is see when we have the civil code, we have the criminal procedure code, we have the Indian penal code. If somebody commits any offense, we say that he is a Jew, he is a Muslim. We are governed by the same law. So why not we have the laws for the common law? Because when we are talking all the while, we have been talking now whether it is a. I always say that politics and religions, they are the two sides of one coin. Huh? But sometimes when religion comes, this politics comes into religion, then religion is not being used. So people try to take disadvantage. So I always say that we must have the uniform civil code. When you say the Constitution of India, we are talking about the fundamental rights and duties of this our as per the our articles. So when we say that we have all the rights, equal rights, an article, and you must look at the preamble of the what preamble says, and not the justice. Justice, we want the spiritual justice. Forgot about the economic justice and social justice and political justice. I want that, but to have that, it is very, very necessary, not only for the Jews, for all the communities. Let one law. We talk about the Constitution. What our Constitution says, our Article 21, that all citizens of India have every right to lead the life with dignity. Where is the dignity? So, unless and until we have the equal rights, Article 25 says you can profess, you can propagate, you can practice any religion. But at the same time, when it comes to the why any community should object, I don't think it is right. Therefore, at that time, I've written a very good article. People wanted to know what the you know Judaism says about the uniform civil code. So I have already given uh, in my book, because I have written two books. One book is titled "The Lord is One." Lord is one means ekam sat vipraha bodha vadanti. And the second book about moral and ethics. So I think in this book or this book, I've written an article. It is 98. See, uh,
Certain
see, I have
definition.
written this article: Jewish concepts, marriage, separation, adoption, inheritance. How the family life, how the marriage, and then uh, prohibited marriage, birth of a child, adoption, then separation and divorce, inheritance. So this guardianships. So all that whatever required, the basic you could say the requirement of the uniform civil code, what the Judaism says, I already mentioned in this book. And but unfortunately I'm talking about 1983, 82, 83, when we had this seminar, and thereafter several times, because being a student of the faculty of law, and I work with the National Human Rights Commission. I work with the National Commission for Religious and Linguistic Minorities. Having worked with five Chief Justices of India, I feel that it is a dire need. And I would like to tell you that according to Judaism, I forgot to mention, I think in 1980, 80, yeah, I've been in India, means Delhi, for the last 45 years almost. And 1981, what happened? An American lady, she approached me, and I said, "Yes, what can I do for you?" Like I'm asking you. So she said, "No, I'm an American Jew, and I married to a person. He belongs to Hindu community, and he is from Rajasthan. And after leading married life for 2 3 years, now something went wrong. There is a disharmony between the family. So he, took my daughter, who is 2 or 3 years old, and he brought her to India. I think, if I do not mistake, I think it was something Pilani or somewhere in, and there is a this court is being heard by the High Court of Rajasthan in Jaipur. So I said, "Yeah, tell me, what can I do for you?" She said, "According to Judaism, if the mother is a, it's not patriarch, ये पितृसत्ताक नहीं है. It is a matriarch. If a mother is a Jew, irrespective of the fact that the husband is non-Jew, whether he's a Christian, Hindu, any community. That's why, I am the only person in India who has mustered the courage to perform more than 20 interfaith weddings. But I never encourage anyone. My precondition, even this synagogue where you are here now, this is the only synagogue in India where only the not only Jews, but I allow the non-Jews also to come and attend the prayers. And this is the only my precondition that you will not ask me for. If you are born as a Hindu, if you are born as a Christian, you are born as a Muslim, you follow your own religion. That is why we have a library, and in the library I started Interfaith Study Center. Interfaith Study Center means Sarva Dharma Adhyayan Kendra. What is the purpose of that this thing center? That I have the holy scriptures of all the nine religions. See, there are nine religions, and out of these nine religions, which the five religions have taken shelter in India, and those five religions are coming from the foreign land. Which are those five religions? Tell me. Judaism, then Islam, then Christianity, Zoroastrianism, and Baha'i. So, but all these five, so India has given shelter. That is why we say Vasudeva Kutumbakam, Atiti Deva Bhava. We believe that, no? And they have been living here in harmony without coming into conflict with each other. So, my first condition, I can go to the temple, I go to the Gurudwara, I go to the church. Does not mean that I become Hindu or become the Sikh or I become a Muslim or become a. I go everywhere just to read the holy scriptures of our religions and try to, like a honeybee sitting on different flowers and taking extract of honey. Similarly, we must understand the essence of all the religions and whatever is goodness. If there are differences, do not criticize, do not say bad words if you are not able to appreciate. But comparative study, every religion says mercy, compassion, tolerance, forgiveness. We all say that. If any religion says go and kill somebody, no religion says. So why not we focus, we concentrate on the similarities instead of finding the faults. My religion, what Swami Vivekananda said, follow one, respect all. And therefore I performed the weddings. And so that lady came to me and she said that, can you suggest how can I get the custody of my child? And I said, see, I can give you the documentary, not evidence, but I can show you the law. According to the Jewish law, if the mother is a Jew, the child is automatically Jewish. It is not the patriarch, it is the matriarch. And that evidence was produced in the court of law I'm talking about 1981. And that court has given the custody of the child to the mother. because there was no uniform civil code. Had there been a uniform civil code, she would have got the custody of the child. And our Jewish laws were not codified as the other laws are codified. And therefore, this is a must requirement today. When we talk about the constitution, fundamental right, equality, and firstly, see the preamble, what the preamble says. So it's very sad. I feel very sad that now this is the high time. If you want to see the harmony and the peace and justice, we must have the uniform civil code. Not only for the Jews. Now hardly there are Jews in India. You may not see Jews at the end of the century, but this is a high time that we must have the uniform civil code.
So I'm sure we're going to see Jews because they're beautiful people. And my next question is, sir, there are some controversial areas where religions might differ.
Huh?
Say, so there are some controversial areas in Uniform Civil Code which we need to delve upon.
Which are the controversial?
Right, sir. So I'll progress with marriage. So now people are asking for union of same-sex marriage, or say two same-gender people, or say other forms of marriage affair between a man and woman, say a live-in relationship, which the UCC might want to give validity to. So, sir, what are your views from a religious point of view? You don't. I mean, it's up
No,
to
no,
you.
I couldn't understand your question. What is your question? Just,
Right.
yeah,
So, sir, there are other forms of like the traditional form of marriage is a union between a man and a woman,
yeah.
where they take vows and they're committed.
Yeah.
They
So
are.
same thing is happening in Judaism.
Yes, sir.
Either you get married
Yes, sir.
if if there is the interfaith marriage. So, for example, a Jewish boy or girl
Yes.
is going to get married, and they will have marriage if the of the same community. So Jewish boy and Jewish girl, they want to get married. They will get married in the synagogue. But in case of Hindu boy or Jewish girl, that she is getting married, it will not take place in the synagogue. It will take place in the banquet hall. And at times, the girl will say, I would like to have the Hindu wedding. And the boy will say, no, I would like to have the Jewish wedding. So first they have the Hindu wedding. See, what is the religion after all? A religion is how you behave in day-to-day life. Religious thinking, religious awakening, religion promotes righteousness. So, see, what is religion after all? Who created religion? Was there any religion? Who created religion? So religion is how do you behave in day-to-day life. That is the religion, and therefore, any person getting married or is this thing, let that ego be satisfied. Okay, you would like to Hindu wedding. Let the children decide. That is what I said. No, I perform more than 20 weddings, and always tell boy or girl by precondition. I am against conversion word. If you are born in the particular community, you must follow that religion, and that is my concern. And let the children decide. Let the children decide whether they would like to follow the father's religion, mother religion. After all, what is religion? You tell me. Nothing. Religion is how do you behave in day-to-day life. That is religion.
So, but if we look at the Torah, if we look at Sodom and Gomorrah,
Hmm.
it is considered to be an invalid. I mean, it's considered to be a sort of prohibited degree of relationships.
No, no. See
So,
there. See that getting marriage. That is why if you read this book,
right,
you will understand everything about the prohibited marriages. I told you, and that Sodom and Gomorrah. When God said to Abraham that I'm going to destroy these two cities, Sodom and Gomorrah, because there is a lot of sins. There is immoral life they are leading, and then Abraham said, but if there are all the sinners are there, everybody is not a sinner. There are some righteous people also there. So God said, okay, if the righteous people are there, I will not destroy these two cities. So he started with 500, then came to 400, then 300, 200, then 100, then ultimately 10. What is 10 in our Judaism? You know, in order to read the Torah, or in order to have the memorial prayer, we say Kaddish, Shraddha ceremony. You must have the 10 men, not the women. Okay? So, in case there are no 10 men in the community, you cannot read the Torah, you cannot read but I have completely avoided gender discrimination in the synagogue.
Wow, sir.
Only in the synagogue. I am not feminist, but just looking at this, look at the 10 commandments. The fifth commandment, thou shalt honor thy father and mother. Not only father, mother also is very important. So God said to Abraham, if there are 10 righteous, he did not say men or women. Righteous means if there are in the Judaism, if there are, we say five books of Moses, that is our Old Testament, okay, Chumash, or we say the Tanakh. But other than this, there is a sixth book of Moses. There is this, if you are talking the prophet, then what about the prophetess? There is the seventh book of Miriam. I always say, who kept our hope alive? Only the women, because God has given them that spiritual. When you refer to the God, you refer to the God in masculine gender. But when you talk about the divinity of God, it is a feminine gender. So that respect. So I always say that why I'm here in this community when we have the prayers, if there are five men and five women, I read the Torah, I read the Kaddish. Kaddish means memorial prayer. Because we have to interpret, see, we have to change our attitude. What was there is 2000 years, our Jewish years 5785. What happened those days? So there are some misconceptions. When you come, you have to remove those misconceived notions from your mind. Okay?
So, like in Hinduism, we have differences among the religion as well, inside our religion as well.
Yeah.
So, in Judaism, I've read about the 12 tribes of Judaism.
No,
There
12 tribes are there. That's what I'm saying. 12 tribes are there, those tribes. And if you say in India, there are major groups are, one group is known as the Bene Israel. They are, you know, concentrated in Bombay, and they came and they had their ancestors, they had the shipwreck, and seven families they survived, and that's why we have the names, like Malekar. Malekars, my ancestors settled in village called Male. Those who are from Rohe became Rohekar, Penkar, Talkar, like that. So we have adapted this name from the villages. So that is the one group. And the second group is known as the Kocheni Jews, where we have the oldest Jewish temple, about maybe 700 years old. And if you read the book of Esther, there is a mention about the India. King Ahasuerus ruled from Hodu to Ethiopia. Hodu means India.
Oh, wow.
There was a trade between at the time of King Solomon and India, silk, ivory, and spices. So India is mentioned in the book of Old Testament also. So I always say that you have to change your attitude. And coming to that, about the third group is known as the Baghdadi Jews. Baghdadi Jews, those who are from Iraq, Iran, and so these are the group. And of course, then there is no such group as like Hinduism. There are so many groups are there. In Christianity, so many. Then Islam also, not a single religion. In Jainism also, then Sikhism also, Buddhism also. You go on. So I go and I participated in more than 20,000 interfaith conferences. Uh, I say the interfaith, we go and talk about the interfaith. What is interfaith? We go and say there must be peace, okay, that we must have the harmonious life, but at the same time just giving the lip service on the coming on the altar and saying about the religion, about goodness, uh, have the cup of tea and have the lunch or dinner and get away. But what is in reality is happening? In reality, you must have not only the, as you are rightly asked me the question, this, there are so many groups. Of course, unfortunately, Judaism, there is no group. Like only I said Sephardic, Ashkenazi, those who are from European countries, and those who are from this Iraq, Iran, those. But of course, those who are ultra orthodox, orthodox, then there is a conservative, reform, and liberal. Okay, so these are the just like you have the very Dharmant Pandit. Okay, you go to the, means, but there is no division as such. So, unfortunately, of course, prayer differs. If somebody comes and he wants to say according to his style, let him stay. But as far as the religion is concerned, the religion is one. The fundamental principle of Judaism is its belief in oneness of God. That is Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevot Malkot Levulam Vai. That is from the book of Deuteronomy. The Lord is our God, God is one. And may his glorious kingdom for ever and ever. And thou shalt love thy God with all thy heart, soul, and mind. So I always go and say, people may not like, even the religious leaders, spiritual leaders, they say that, what I'm saying, but I'm telling you, in India, interfaith is very, very necessary. But at the same time, I always emphasize that we must have the intra-faith. What is intra-faith? आपके घर में, खुद के घर में शांति नहीं है और कोशिश कर रहे हो मेरे पड़ोसी के घर में शांति है क्या नहीं है. You must have the peace within your own community. You are divided. If you are a particular community, you also know, no, I will not go to this church because I belong to the different this thing. I will not go to this temple, or I will not go to this, the mosque. There should be so all moral duty of the all religious spiritual leaders. I don't deny that interfaith is very much essential. We have been talking about it since the time 1893, from the time of Swami Vivekananda. But what I'm saying that we must have intra-faith within our community. There must be, peace and harmony.
So, when it comes to adoption, you spoke about the custody. So, you spoke about adoption and how adoption might be tricky. So, does Judaism allow adoption, or
Yeah,
it
yeah,
only
yeah.
allows
No, no,
guardianship?
Judaism allows the adoption, there is no stricter form than taking interest from the banks. There are some people from different communities, they wouldn't like to, but since we have the bank account, we have, invested into the mutual funds, and then we have the all kinds of bonds available, so we get the interest. So religion says no, no, interest is not to be, but see, you have to change.
So,
I
what
got
about legitimacy? So, suppose there is a child who is born out of wedlock. So,
Hmm?
does
Huh?
if a child is born out of wedlock,
It is the duty of the society, your community,
right? Sorry.
to look after. It's not only that thing. See, our first basic fundamental moral duty of a Jewish, that he has to look at. That's why I have written an article. The children are the divine, this thing, uh, divine beauty of God about the child, who it is our responsibility. If there is any orphan, if it is, as you said, illegitimate children, it is the duty of the society to take.
Suppose there is a child who's born out of wedlock. Does he have legitimate rights over his father's property or his inheritance?
See, there's a, now again I'm coming to that. Unless and until you have the uniform civil code, you cannot. There are no. Only we have the Special Marriage Act. In case of divorce also, you know, if the marriage is not registered, then finish. You cannot ask for divorce. Do you know you married under the Special Marriage Act, and the marriage is not registered at the court of law, then you, after a few years or after a year something goes wrong, or there is a disharmony, you cannot go to the court of law for seeking the divorce. Court will say, have you registered this marriage? No. First register the marriage. at the so and so section. Then again, lead life with your wife for another 6 months. Then come to us. So that is why I say that to avoid all these complications, you must have the uniform civil code.
So, India and Israel lately have been seeing a beautiful bond growing them, a very strong bond growing between them. They are best of friends at this time. So, how do you see Israel and India's relationship growing in near future?
India's civilization, Israel's civilization, we have got in the field of agriculture, defense, everywhere. Our that culture, and I always say that we never talk when we come to the synagogue. We never come about the
I'm
politics.
sorry.
No questions about the politics, but we have the strong bond between India. You know how many lakh people are there in Israel of Indian origin? There are about 2 lakhs people of Indian origin living in Israel. And after going there are Jews from Maharashtra. One thing you have to note it, they have not forget the Indian identity and Indian culture. Why I am saying so? If there are people from Maharashtra, though they have migrated to Israel, they still wear the saris, they have the Mangal Sutra, they have the typical, they speak Marathi, they have the typical Maharashtrian food. If they're from Kochi in Kerala, they have the costume, different costume, they speak Malayalam, they have a different food habits, whatever you have, the South Indian food. If you go to Calcutta, the Calcutta has different kind of a food. They talk Bengali. If you go to Gujarat in Ahmedabad, they speak again Gujarati. They have the typical costume and typical food. So though they have migrated to Israel 50 years ago, still they are able to maintain their identity as an Indian Jew. Okay.
Sir, thank you so much for this interview today. I would like to tell you that Sir is a lawyer by profession, and Sir's knowledge in Indian laws, along with his knowledge in Judaism and the religious scriptures, is, I mean, par excellence. And I'm really grateful that Sir you
No, no,
took out
welcome,
time
welcome,
today.
welcome.
And
See, okay, thank you. Thank you.
thank you so
Best
much,
of
Sir.
God bless you.
Thank you so
God
much.
bless
Sir.
you.
Tradition,